And if we eliminate all nuclear warheads, we have to throw away all of our submarines, don't we? Our nuclear submarines. I tried the submarine. I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad idea, but it's another roadblock. We've got a lot of jobs here.
What's not going to happen very soon, it would appear. What's not going to happen very soon, it would appear, is that the Air Force is going to allow itself, for which I used to work, by the way, at the RAND program. But the Air Force is not going to allow itself to go out of the nuclear business. And if you get well below the targeting of all of those targets, which require land-based missiles in part to go after them, the Air Force is out of the business, and that's the reason, Jonathan, why you don't go down. Now, it's not a rational reason from the point of view of the world interest or national interest, but they don't need, it turns out you don't need a very strong strategic rationale. With the Cold War over, you didn't have it anymore. I'll give you one right now, by the way. Situation basically, obviously I agree with Kennette very strongly on nearly everything she said. Except you have to draw attention to the fact Rose Gottemoeller is in the administration, John Holdren is in the administration, they agree with everything we believe, and they have had no perceptible influence on this document. So what I'm really saying is I totally agree with you that there has to be a grassroots effort. I'm saying it has to be essentially a grassroots pressing on Congress and on the others, because we should not wait for and have hope. We don't have much hope. You know, in the Obama administration, without that pressure, the pressure to
I do think that there's hope in the promise that there could be a new political lineup, because another way of asking this question of why we have the weapons, and you're getting to it, both of you, I think, is to ask who doesn't, where is the opposition lie? And I see two sectors. One is in the people who went to school in the Cold War, who now are in the Pentagon and the National Security Council, the security agencies and so on. They're sort of the conservatives of the nuclear age, so to speak. That's number one. Number two is the Republican minority in the Senate. But you have quite a powerful lineup on the other side. One thing is the sort of heirs of Ronald Reagan. There are all kinds of conservative people who are now outside of government, unfortunately retired, but who have come out strongly in favor of getting rid of nuclear weapons. And that's really given Barack Obama a certain amount of political cover in championing this. You have a president, that's a very big deal, who I think really does want it and would respond if things lined up politically. You have a public that is friendly to the idea if you introduce it to them. They're not passionate about it, they're not much interested in it, but if they could be got interested, I think there could be a lineup of the stars that could really beat this, these centers of opposition, which are nowhere near as formidable as they were at almost any other point in the nuclear age.
Look, here is President Obama, when he was not president yet, it was in September of 2008, saying to the Arms Control Association, keeping nuclear weapons, this is Obama, keeping nuclear weapons ready to launch on a moment's notice is a dangerous relic of the Cold War. Such policies increase the risk of catastrophic accidents or miscalculation. And when we say catastrophic, we're saying double nuclear winners, two nuclear winners. I believe we must address this dangerous situation, something that Bush promised to do when he campaigned for president back in 2000, but did not do once in office. I will work with Russia to end such outdated Cold War policies in a mutual and verifiable way. And so we can assume with certainty that Rose Gottemoeller was one of those that they mentioned as arguing for that deal in this. Was the president? We don't know, but whoever was for it didn't get it. We didn't get the deal, and so it remains. It's really hard to say whether Obama really believed in it the way he really believed in the public option and just couldn't get it, or whether he just couldn't get it. But if he couldn't get it, then something has to change in the situation, and it has to be outside the executive branch.